Again, we are back to another session of the topic we have been looking at, complex fraction. Very quickly, we are going to be looking at question 7 in this video, question 8 and question 9. We have only one part left and the miscellaneous aspect of it. That one shouldn't miss it because we are going to explain some basic and explicit things that will be of help to you. Now, on the board, we have question number 7, Master Builders Academy, right? Now, we have question number 7 on the board. We are asked to simplify 2 whole number 5/6 minus 3 whole number 1/2 divided by 1 whole number 2/3 of 5 whole number 2/3. Guys, this is very simple. So the first thing you do before we look at the signs that are present here is to first convert this fraction into what? Into what is the first thing we are quickly going to do now is to convert all of these fractions from whole number fractions to what? Improper fractions. Now we are going to have 6 times 2, 12 plus this, plus 5, we are going to have 17/6, minus 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1, we are going to have 7/2. Then divided by 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5/3. Of 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17/3. It's as simple as this. Now, guys, the next thing we are quickly going to do is to identify the BODMAS characters that are here. Yes, the BODMAS characters that are here. And what are the BODMAS characters that are here? First, we have brackets, then we have addition, then we have division, then we have off. Alright? Yes, we have division, then we have off. Right? Now, in the law of BODMAS, we have that this is BODMAS. So bracket comes first, so this is number 1. We are going to treat number 1, then followed by number 2, then followed by number 3. Alright? Yes, then followed by what? Addition, number 4. But it happens that this number 4 and number 1 will go together because the addition, and subtraction. Yes. Then number 4 we have subtraction, and that's number 4. And it happens that number 4 and 1 goes together, right? Now what do we do here? The first thing we do is to start resolving the brackets. And how do we resolve the bracket? We have to examine what fractions we have inside the bracket. And now we know that we have 2 fractions inside the bracket. And these fractions are connected with subtraction sign. And you know that when 2 or more fractions are connected with subtraction sign, all you simply do is to find their LCM. It's as simple as that now. So the LCM of 6 and 2 guys is 6. So now 6 divided by 6. Okay, let's just make it simple as we used to do it. 6 divided by 6, we are going to have 1. So we are going to use this one to multiply the numerator corresponding to that base 6. Then minus, the next is what? The new denominator, which is this denominator 6, divided by the second old denominator, which happens to be 2. And when we divide 6 by 2, guys, this will automatically give us 3. And what do we do with this 3? We use this 3 to multiply the numerator corresponding to this denominator 2, and that is 7. So we're going to have 3 times 7. Our bracket, then division 5/3. Now you can quickly remove the off from here, but let me leave it as off first. Okay, can quickly remove the off because the off really don't mean much. It's just for you to change it to multiplication. That's all about that. Then what do we do here? 17 times 1, we are going to have 17 minus 3 times, that would have given us what? 21 all over 6. Then divided by what? 5/3 of 7/17/3. Then the next thing we do is to remove 21 from 17, guys, and that will give us negative result. Anytime you remove a bigger number from a smaller number, you have a negative outcome. So this will have given us minus 4/6 divided by 5/3. And now we have removed the bracket. What of this off? You just turn it to multiplication. I have 17/3. Yes. To remove off, remove it and just put multiplication. Please here, you do not invert the fraction. You only invert fractions when you have a division, right? Now the next thing we do is that we can reduce 2 and 6 have something in common, right? Yes. So I can have this as minus 2/3. Yes, 2 into 4 is 2, 2 into 3, 6 is 3. Then this division sign will quickly change it to multiplication and invert the fraction that comes immediately after the sign will change. That is the only fraction you swap. So I'm going to now have this is my division, numerator becomes denominator, and denominator becomes numerator. Then times 17/3. That is as simple as this. What next do we do? We simply cancel out the possible one that we can cancel using the diagonal division. 3 cancel 3, and at the end, 17 have nothing in common with this, 3 have nothing in common with this, so I'm going to just have minus 2 times 1. Remember that here is 1, here is 1 if you want to, then times 17 all over 3 times 5 times 1. Now minus 2 times 1 times 17 give us minus 34 over 15. And guys, we cannot leave our answer like this because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. And secondly, we need to know whether there is a common factor between 34 and 30. So what do? We now find the number of times 15 can go into 34. And the number of times 15 can go into 34 is 2. 2 times 15 is 30. Alright, so we now have minus 2 whole number. Then when we now remove 30 from 34, we are going to have 4. So we're going to have 15 here. Then 15 times 2 is 30. When you remove 30 from 34, guys, you are going to have 4. So therefore have the answer to the minus 2 whole number, 4 over 15. Guys, this is all about this aspect of this very question. Please, like I do always say, replay the video over time. And that's the reason why we have to release this content via video, where you can regulate the video, right? You can pause, you can replay, you can watch over and over again until it becomes part, it sinks into your head. Now let's get on to the next page of our board and look at the next question. Now we are asked to simplify 2 whole number 1 over 2 divided by open bracket 2 whole number 1 over 4 divided by 4 whole number 1 over 3. And guys, what do we do here? The first thing we do, like I said, is to what? Remove the whole numbers by simply converting this fraction, so this type of fraction, which is a mixed fraction, to an improper fraction, because improper fraction give birth to this. And what do? We simply say 2 times 2, which will give us 4, and 4 plus 1, we would have had 5 over 2, then divided by open bracket. 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 over 4, then divided by 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 plus 1 is 13 over 3. It's as simple as this. Then we have this. Then guys, the next thing we are quickly going to do now is that we need to identify the BODMAS characters that are here, and we have bracket and division only, right? So first of all, we resolve the bracket, and the bracket encloses one division sign, right? So we are going to have this as 5 over 2 divided by open bracket 9 over 4 times 3 over 13. It's like this. Just invert, right? Yes, just invert. Once you change division to multiplication, invert the fraction that comes immediately after the sign you change. Then the next thing we do here is to find out if we can do diagonal division here. Of course, 9 and 13 are diagonally arranged, but they do not have any common factor. Similarly, 4 and 3 are diagonally arranged, and they do not also have common factor. So that means the only solution to this now is to multiply out the numerator and as well multiply out the denominator. So we're going to have 5 over 2 divided by 9 times 3, guys, is 27, and 4 times 13, guys, we are going to have 52. This is how it is. Then the next thing we do here is to examine this fraction very well. And now we have 2 fractions, right? Now in these fractions that we have here, the sign connecting them is division. And you know what happens when you have division in between 2 fractions. Now we are quickly going to change this division to multiplication sign and quickly find the reciprocal of 27 over 52, which would have become 52 over 57. That is the reciprocal of. So then we're going to have 5 over 2 times. The reciprocal of 27 over 52 is 52 over 27. Just swap the numerator and the denominator, you are good to go. Then the next thing we do here is to also check. Now we have multiplication in between two fractions. Then what do? We check out if diagonal division can work for us. If it works, then we are good to go. But if it doesn't, then we can multiply out all the numerators, put down the result, then all over, multiply out all the denominators, then we find common factor. Otherwise, we can leave our answer there. Now the next thing we do now is 5 is diagonally arranged with what? 27. But 5 and 27 have no common factor. So then when we come to 52 and 2, they have common factor because 2 is a factor of 52. Therefore, 2 into itself is 1 and 2 into 52 is 13. So guys, we are going to have 5 times 13 and the numerator over 1 times 27. Now, 5 times 13, guys, is 65. So we are going to have 65 over 27. The next thing we do is, can we leave our answer here, or let's possibly see if we can see a common factor for both 65 and 27. Of course, guys, 65 and 27 have no common factor. So what do? Since this fraction is an improper fraction, we need to find how many times? 2 times. So we are going to put down 2 whole number, then all over 27. Well, how do we now get the numerator here? The remainder there. All we need to do is to say 27 times 2, and that would have given us 54. Alright? So when we remove 54 from 65, we are going to have 11. It's as simple as this, guys. Alright, so the remainder here is 11. Therefore, the answer to this expression here is 2 whole number 11 over 27. Alright, now finally, guys, we'll head on to the next page of our marker board and start looking at question number 9. Guys, hope this class is interesting, right? Now, okay, let's head on to start solving question number 9. Now, in question number 9, we are asked to simplify 1 over 3 minus 1 over 6 divided by 1 over 3 plus 1 over 6. Guys, this is what we call long. We have short divisions here and also long division. So this long division that we have here can be converted to this type of division. So if I have now, what I'm trying to explain is if I have A over B, I can decide to interpret this as A divided by B. Right? Yes. So if you understand that this can be what? Transformed to this format, then we are going to transform this fraction to this format. Then this will have given us 1 over 3 plus 1 over 6. I am introducing bracket to show that we are solving the numerator here separately and as well solving the denominator separately before we finally divide. That's all it is. So you're supposed to solve this one separately, get the answer, solve the denominator separately, get the answer, then before you find that division. So in this case now, I just introduced a bracket to show that we are going to work on this separately, work on this also separately before we can put this division that connects the numerator and the denominator into consideration. Hope that is taken. Yes. If this is taken now, we now have 2 brackets here, right? And these 2 brackets that we have here, in this whole expression, we have subtraction, we have division, we have addition, and we have brackets. So our solving starts from bracket. Of course, we introduce the bracket. I have explained the reasons why I introduced the bracket to prove to us that we are dealing with this numerator separately. Then we are dealing with the denominator separately. Then finally, we can now consider this division, which is here, and make use of it to get our final result. Hope that is taken. Now, at this point, also, we are going to start from the bracket, and the first bracket has a negative sign, while the other one has a positive sign of both additions and subtractions. These are what we have here now. So what do? We simply find the LCM of 6 and 3 in the first bracket. And second bracket is also 6 and 3. So the LCM of 6 and 3 is 18. Okay. The LCM of 6 and 3 is 6. Yes. Now we put down 6. Then what else do? We now put down the new denominator, which happens to be 6 divided by 3. Which is the old denominator, the first old denominator, and this will give us 2. So what do with this 2? We use this 2 to multiply the numerator corresponding to this denominator, 3. And that would have been what? 2 times 1. Then minus, then put that also again, the new denominator divided by the second old denominator, which happens to be 6. And 6 divided by 6 is 1. And what do with this 1? we multiply this one by the existing numerator that is corresponding to what the denominator 6, and that is 1. So we're going to have 1 times 1. We have our close bracket. Then divided by open bracket. Similarly, the LCM of 3 and 6 is 6. And guys, what do we do here? We simply go ahead and make this easy for us. At this point, we will have that the LCM, the same thing that happens is what is happening here. Yes, the same thing is happening because we only have the difference between this and this is that these fractions are connected with subtraction sign, while these ones are connected with additional sign, right? It's as simple as that. So we have the same fractions. So I can simply say that this is 2 into 1 plus 1 into 1. The only difference is the minus and plus there. Now what do we do here, guys? The next thing we do here, we are going to have 2 times 1, which is 2, and 1 times 1, which is what? 1, and all over 6. Then divided by open bracket. 2 times 1, guys, is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1 over 6. Now 2 minus 1, guys, we are going to have 1 over 6 divided by 2 plus 1, we are going to have 3 all over 6. Now at this point we have 2 fractions only connected by division. Alright, now what do? We now change the division sign to what? A multiplication sign using the law of inversion. And by so doing, we are going to have 1 over 6 times, as this division changes to what? Multiplication sign, we now what? Find the reciprocal of 3 over 6, which will now become 6 over 3. Just swap the denominators and the numerator. Now the next thing we do is to find out what sign we now have between these 2 fractions. Now we have multiplication. So when you have multiplication between 2 fractions, you understand that you don't find LCM. All you just need to do is either you multiply all the numerators, multiply all the denominators, or look out for how you can use the word diagonal division rule to reduce the fractions, right? So at this point now, 6 and 6 are diagonally arranged, and 6 can divide 6 to give us 1. So as simple as this. So generally, at this point, I'm going to have 1 times 1 over 1 times 3, because 6 here is 1, 6 here is 1. Then 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 3 is 3. And here, this answer is a proper, this result is a proper fraction. We will stop at this very point. Guys, we have one last aspect to look at under complex fractions, which are extension of this question number 9. So, and that is going to also be 3 questions in one video. So, for you to get access to that particular video, just check the description below in this particular video you are watching now, and you will see the link to the next video, which is a continuation from question 10, 11, and 12. Guys, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, ensure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that anytime we release, upload mind-blowing content, you will be the first to notify. Why? Because you need it. It's helping you add value